This is the official variety trial at the Macon Ridge Research Station. Dr. Harrison will present some varieties here shortly, go through some entries that are adapted to Northeast Louisiana and the Gulf South. A lot of good information following this. We appreciate you checking it out.
Well, good day to you. Glad to have you here at our virtual wheat field day at the Macon Ridge Research Station in Winnsboro. I'm Dr. Stephen Harrison, the wheat and oat breeder and variety trial coordinator for the Louisiana State University Agricultural Center. And what we're going to do here today is just briefly walk through the plots and talk about them a little bit. The variety trials are split into an early and a medium or late, the early one having all of the very early varieties separate from the medium late just for convenience of harvest. Delta Growth 3500 has an excellent grain yield, well adapted. It's in the early trial because it is early. It is susceptible to Fusarium head blight, which is the white heads that you see in this plot. Fusarium head blight has been our biggest disease problem for the last 5 years or so. We've done a lot of work screening material for Fusarium head blight resistance. We have misted nurseries that Dr. Trey Price coordinates here. And we also, because of Fusarium head blight, implemented this year a fungicide intensive split of the variety trials where we have 3 replications without fungicide, which this is, and we have 3 replications with fungicide, tebuconazole plus Miravis, to look at how much control we can get of Fusarium head blight in wheat, and to look at the interaction between the fungicides and the genetic resistance. So Delta Growth 3500, AGS 2055 is a late maturing variety that's in here as a check so you can cross compare the early trial to the late trial. It has not developed Fusarium head blight yet, simply because it's just now heading, and scab infects during flowering and shows up a week to 10 days later. AGS 3000 is the earliest variety in the trial. It does have pretty good Fusarium head blight resistance, but it's so early that it needs to be planted between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's really a very good sandy soil, South Alabama, South Georgia variety that you can plant whenever you want to. AGS 2038 is the other later heading cross check that's in both the early and the late trial. Excellent yield, excellent test weight, susceptible to scab like most of our varieties are. Pioneer 26R94 is a good yielding, medium maturity variety, actually out of the University of Georgia. It is also susceptible to Fusarium head blight. The next one is a Texas A&M experimental that has very nice yield. We don't have 2 years of Fusarium to classify it as resistant or susceptible. It looks like it's probably intermediate just based on this particular plot. The next line is a very nice looking little line out of the University of Florida, Dr. Ali Babar's breeding program. First year in the trial, but it looks very good. Another Texas A&M breeding line, high yield potential, susceptible to scab. We'll have to see what the data says. AGS 2024, medium maturity, excellent yield, moderately susceptible to scab. AGS 3015 is a very nice looking variety. It looks like it might have some Fusarium resistance, but again, we'll have to look at the data at the end of the year. Another Florida breeding line out of the University of Florida program at Citra, Florida, or Gainesville, Florida. First year in the trial. And finally, one more University of Florida line that looks very nice. This one is pretty early, and it's pretty clean for Fusarium, so I think it's got a lot of potential. That's Florida 14078. Okay, that's the early.